Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the public session for the Commission on Human Relations. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to turn the meeting over to our chair, Commissioner Shalimar Thomas.
Thank you. And again, welcome to the Philadelphia Commission of Human Relations public session taking place today, Friday, November 15th, 2024. Can we start the meeting with the approval of meeting minutes? Were there any corrections to note? All right. None noted. I move that we accept the minutes and that they are submitted into the record. The next up are the cases recommended for closing. I will ask for recusals after I read the cases. Okay, cases recommended for closing for the month of November are as follows. Under employment, we have Aaliyah Thomas versus Camera House Home Care Services, LC. Danielle M. Boaz versus Philadelphia Fire Department. Simon S. Griffin versus American Airlines. Oops. Should I keep going? I heard something. I want to make sure I'm on task.
Yes,
Okay.
you're fine.
All right. All right. Thank you. Kayla McTague versus Philadelphia Police Department. Lana M. Dill versus Rockham 5G PALP. Kim R. Simpkins versus City of Philadelphia. Lauren Tracy versus Medtronic USA Incorporated and Medtronic Incorporated. Jocelyn Jones Arnold versus City of Philadelphia. Rachel Jackson versus City of Philadelphia Office of Homeless Services. Aquira Cheeks versus Philadelphia Department of Prisons. John H. Thornton versus Ballard Brands LLC. Hunter Hollis versus Jams Incorporated. Tierra Singleton versus Marikey USA and Marikey Woodhaven. David Newby versus Jeffrey Miller Catering. Under housing, we have Autumn S. Jennings versus Kamalam Joseph. Under public accommodations, Keith Ryan Goldwire Jr. versus School District of Philadelphia. And under do not solicit, we have Rebuilt LLC. Are there any recusals? None? Wow. All right, no recusals have been heard. Can I have a motion that we accept the cases? I saw Commissioner Tibbs as the motion, and I'll take Commissioner Alpert as the second. All in favor? Thank you. Cases for the month of November have been accepted. And with that, I'll turn it back over to our Executive Director, Kia, for her report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. I will start with, well, let me start with the updates for the month. This should be relatively brief, starting with legislation. There on October 29th, the public hearing held by City Council's Committee on Legislative Oversight held a hearing for Resolution 240544. The purpose of the hearing was to focus on inequities faced by the LGBTQ plus community in areas of housing, health, healthcare, employment, education, and other areas, with specific testimony describing the disproportionate levels of housing insecurity, employment discrimination, and other barriers that LGBTQ plus individuals in Philadelphia are facing. I attended that hearing along with our public information officer, Satiria Kersey, where we were on site not only to learn firsthand about the issues facing our community here in Philadelphia, but also to provide resources and information about the protections offered through our agency. Next, I'll move on to compliance. I want to give a huge kudos and congratulations to Deputy Director Pamela Gwaltney and the entire compliance team for working so hard, and importantly this month, who secured over $100,000 for 2 cases involving victims of discrimination. Yes. And there were 3 private settlements for undisclosed amounts. We will also have a housing discrimination specialist job posting soon. The purpose of that position is going to be to further our efforts for enforcement of housing against housing discrimination, with a particular lens on home appraisal bias, outreach, and education. Next, for community engagement and prevention. On October 29th, HR Representative Carlos Aviles and Shanice Drinks participated in the LinFest Job Fair and Resource Villa at Temple University, providing information on our fair chance hiring law and other protections offered through the agency. On October 31st, HR Representative Boonrat Mott helped organize the first Buddhist invocation at City Council to open their City Council session. HR Representative David Oliver provided training to the staff of the Pennsylvania Parole West Philadelphia office to familiarize them with the Fair Chance hiring law and the types of trainings that he already provides in the Northwest section of Philadelphia for the Northwest Parole Office. He is planning to expand his training sessions into the West Philadelphia area. Deputy Director Randy Duque is actively working with Philadelphia Parks and Rec to review planned skits for the 2025 Members Day Parade, and hopes to ensure that this year, as well as the last few previous years, runs smoothly and that participants are aware of bias and skits that could be problematic for our community here. Deputy Director Randy Duque is also working with the Office of Immigrant Affairs and the Office of Muslim Engagement to plan a Palestinian community celebration at City Hall. The date for that celebration has not been determined as of yet. Other noteworthy events for this reporting period: Deputy Director Randy Duque attended the 2024 Eradicate Hate Global Summit, where he participated in a session highlighting the unsung roles of personnel in preventing hate. He also participated in a session where he spoke about PCHR's Interagency Civil Rights Task Force. On October 29th, Principal Attorney Karen Foreman participated in Rutgers Law School Center for Career Development, their annual practice area fair. On October 30th, myself and Attorney Karen Foreman provided a presentation about PCHR services and the protections offered through our office to Drexel University students at the Klein Institute of Trial. On November 6th, I was a guest speaker at Drexel University discussing all of the legal protections and the scope of services offered through our office. November 11th through 13th, Deputy Director Randy Duque participated on a panel at the Association for Conflict Resolution at their national conference, where he spoke about the ongoing dialogue that he has been having with interfaith leaders in Jewish, Muslim, and Arab communities here in Philadelphia. For upcoming events for the next reporting period, Deputy Director Randy Duque will co-present a session on combating hate and extremism for the Strong Cities North America webinar series. In terms of hate and bias data, we received 9 9 confirmed incidents of hate or bias that were reported to us this month. Most of those incidents centered on race and ethnicity or religion. They were as follows. We received a report of an Asian woman and her teenage daughter who were verbally harassed and threatened in the northeast section of Philadelphia by a neighbor who yelled at them that they didn't belong and threatened to burn their house. We also received a report of a paper found in the Chinatown area of the city with the message, hey Chinatown, 76ers Arena and Mayor Parker love you long time. There were another disparaging message. Hey, Mayor Parker sold you out to billionaires and construction unions to get reelected. Take it with a smile. We received another report of a Southeast Asian woman who was followed home by an unknown man in the Northeast after a minor traffic incident. The person returned to her home the next day, yelling at her, disparaging remarks, and he left, unfortunately, before the police arrived. The investigation is ongoing for this incident. We also received a report of a Black woman walking to the train station in Center City who was called a number of racial slurs by an unknown person, and there was no apparent reason for that. We received a complaint about a Black neighbor in Germantown who banged on another neighbor's door, yelling anti-African slurs, including use of the B word. For all of the incidents, I should say, it's important to note, for all of the incidents that allege criminal activity, the police department is already involved, so I should say that. We received 4 complaints related to religious bias and or hate. The home of a Jewish resident in Center City was spray painted with the message, Zionists kill babies, and an expletive about Israel. We received another complaint that there was a Jewish resident accosted in the northeast section of Philadelphia. The person threw an object hitting the complainant's car and yelled a threat, a very violent threat, referring to Nazis. At a northeast daycare in Philadelphia, a director reported a parent who picked up their child and became enraged, yelling expletives and derogatory remarks at a Jewish family, and indicated that they wished that they would die. The police are investigating this incident and it is still ongoing. Finally, we had a report of a middle school teacher in South Philadelphia who noticed a swastika in a student's notebook. The student was disciplined and referred to the school diversion program. Year to date, we have had 82 confirmed incidents of hate and bias. And for all the incidents that are reported to us, we assign them to our community relations team to make sure that the victims are supported and or connected to law enforcement and monitor the trends and the hate patterns that we see. With that, I will open it up for any questions that anyone may have.
Hey, Kia, it's Kareem. Thank you for your report out, and it is disheartening because it sounds as though the number of complaints is increasing. And I wonder if your team is tracking month over month and year over year complaints and identifying if there are themes that we need to be aware of and work towards minimizing. So I'll pause there and ask that question, and then I have another question.
Yes, Yeah, so we track it on a quarterly basis. And we also meet with our state and local law enforcement partners for the Civil Rights Task Force to ensure that it's on everyone's radar. We look at where we are this quarter, for example, in the fiscal year 25, as opposed to fiscal year 24. And so we're constantly looking at trends. The pattern has been consistent in that there are largely race-based, anti-LGBTQ and religious-based hate that we observe here in Philadelphia. And so as we see hate affecting or impacting certain communities, when we reach out to our partners, we discuss ways that we can support those particular communities just based on what we're seeing. So that's something that we do all the time. In January, we usually release the annual hate and bias report, which will show the demographics of communities hit by these incidents and like give a general overview of what we've seen for the year.
Thank you. And this is more of a comment. You know, obviously, or we believe with the events that have taken place over the past few months and more recently that these complaints may increase if we as commissioners can continue to support you, if you do a roadshow just on advocacy and just communicating with residents on the resources that are available and letting folks know that we're here. You know, please feel free to include us if we can just be partners with you on the road to, you know, communicate that the work that we do.
Yes, thank you thank you and thank all the commissioners for their willingness to be ambassadors and liaisons between our office and the community. We are actually in talks now to begin to do some listening sessions as we enter the new level of the federal government. So just stay tuned. We have some things that are coming up in the new year. If there are no further questions, then I will turn it back over to our chair, Commissioner Shalimar Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next meetings will take place in December. The executive meeting will take place December 13th, 2024, and the public session will be held on December 20th, 2024. Readers for the month of December are Commissioners Kareem Thomas, Alpert, and Ho. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. I saw Commissioner Ho initially who made the motion, second by Commissioner Alpert. All in favor? Thank you. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone.